Well, hello and welcome. Welcome to this very special The Future's Unwritten webinar on EntreConf and our new EntreConf Awards, and I hope this finds you well. My name is Greg Ingham. I founded EntreConf and co-founded Media Clash. I'm fascinated by entrepreneurs, people who see the world differently, fascinated by how and why they take risk, how their approaches develop from launch to reality, from theory to practice, how they benefit from advisors, and how, of course, advisors benefit from them. Their optimism, singularity, psychologies, how they create worlds that they wish, services, products, but also create different company structures and values. And of course, how entrepreneurialism is a state of mind, not solely the emergent time of a business. And this region teems with dynamic new business thinkers. All of this and more is why we launched EntreConf. So I say I'm joined today by EntreConf's brand manager and Media Clash's head of events, Claudia.
Hello from me, and thank you for joining us. Today we'll be talking about how you can benefit from and engage with EntreConf and the EntreConf Awards, and what to expect from each. How to enter the awards, what's featured at the conference, and commercial opportunities for both. We've got some big news today on keynotes for the conference and a headline partner for the awards, and we'll be joined by a couple of our EntreConf partners. It's a big leap forward for EntreConf this year, a real-life conference for the first time, and we've launched the EntreConf Awards. Please send your questions via the Q&A button below, and we'll cover as many as possible. We're recording this, and it will be on our YouTube channel shortly and the EntreConf site. It's also going to be promoted on our social channels as well.
Yeah, so this is EntreConf. This is some of the types of companies that EntreConf is for. So, variously, different types. Scale-ups, advisors, new business thinkers, startups, investors, academics, exit planners, entrepreneurs, new businesses, and of course, entrepreneurs, everyone fascinated by entrepreneurialism. Quality of speakers is very much our lodestar. Take a look at this, many remarkable names that give you an idea of the quality of EntreConf.
So here's the first big announcement for today. We're very proud the headline partner for the inaugural EntreConf Awards is the prestigious wealth management advisors Cazenove Partners. We spoke earlier with its head of Southwest and Wales, Rob Nye, and thank you to Rob and Cazenove Partners. Here's a word from him.
Right, we're absolutely delighted to be joined by Rob Nye of Cazenove Capital. Welcome, Rob. How are you today?
Very well, thank you. Delighted to be speaking with you, Greg.
Good, well, that's kind. Tell us about Cazenove.
So Cazenove are the high net worth wealth management business of Schroders PLC, which is a large FTSE 100 listed asset management firm. And ultimately what we do is make best use of our clients' capital to meet their aims, whatever they might be.
Right. And what's the particular appeal of entrepreneurs to Cazenove?
Well, I think there's two sides to this. There's the personal side in that we find it a fascinating group of people to work with. They're so ideas driven, so full of activity and energy. But in reality, they're also the group that we can bring the most value to bear. It's an area where we genuinely specialise in. In Bristol and the Southwest, entrepreneurs and business owners make up the vast majority of our clients. And each of them has unique requirements in the same way each business is unique, and that really allows us to bring to bear our ability to to what they require.
And I think that point about being attracted to entrepreneurs per se, because they're great people to be around. We get such energy and interest from new business thinkers. And I guess it naturally leads into today's announcement, which is that EntreConf Capital is the headline sponsor of the inaugural EntreConf Awards. What was it that attracted Cazenove to the EntreConf Awards?
I think for us, the driver is we are just delighted to celebrate entrepreneurialism in the region across Bristol, the Southwest and South Wales. It's as simple as that, really. We love what you're doing with EntreConf generally in bringing this diverse sector together. And the awards just takes that one step further and brings a nice competitive edge to it as well.
Yeah, it'll be great fun on September 28th when we announce the winners, and with you as our headline partner. It's superb. One extra piece, as the headline partner, you're also offering a consultation piece for any finalists. How might that work?
So for us, all of our clients are a matter of building a relationship. We work with business owners from the very early stages of founding the business all the way through, hopefully, growth and perhaps one day to realizing some capital from that business, however that might come to occur. So we know and we're confident we can add real value to business owners at all stages of that process. To that end, we are delighted to extend the consultation to all of the finalists who are lucky enough to make the shortlist for the EntreConf Awards this year. We look forward to meeting you all in due course.
Well, we all look forward to coming together in that celebration of entrepreneurialism, as you say. On our behalf, to you, Rob, and to your team at Cazenove Capital, thank you ever so much for being our inaugural headline sponsors of the EntreConf Awards. Thank you. We'll see you soon. Thanks.
Thank you, Greg.
Yes. Well, isn't that isn't that great to have the support of Rob and his team, Cazenove Capital, a very prestigious company, joining a terrific roster of partners and associates for EntreConf. Have a look at these. We've got a range of leading advisory companies and also those interested in promoting entrepreneurialism. Thanks variously to NatWest, Storm Consultancy, Burgess Salmon, Linkstone Advisory, Bristol Creative Industries, Univigil, Lombard Odier, University of Bath School of Management, Life Media, Loud, and Votion. And of course, again, to Cazenove Capital. There will be others. There's several discussions underway, and we're delighted to form those partnerships. Let's hear from two of our partners. Here's Dave Kelly, the founder of Storm Consultancy, and Ellie Rowley, NatWest's Regional Ecosystem Manager. How are you both?
Good, thank you very much, Greg. How are you?
Oh, I'm fine. That's kind of you. Well, we want to talk a little bit about what each of Storm and NatWest are doing at EntreConf. But firstly, what does entrepreneurialism mean to you each, and why does it matter?
Ellie, do you want to go first?
Yeah, absolutely. So entrepreneurialism, that's a hard word to say, for me is all about finding new ways of doing things better, differently. And it's really the engine of a lot of the UK economy in particular. So thinking about how we can come up with new ideas and then in turn create new jobs and actually a more positive societal impact. So really for me, it's about innovation in particular. And as you said earlier, Greg, on that video, entrepreneurs are inspiring, right? They're great people to be around. And that's exactly why I love my job as ecosystem manager, because it's all about connecting those dots from being a startup through to kind of someone who's built into a corporate. How do you create that ecosystem that works better together?
And Dave, you were definitely a startup. I have to say, I don't think Storm is quite the corporate, and I can't ever imagine you ever would be, but it's built into an interesting scale business. Tell us a little bit more about what entrepreneurialism means to you and the team at Storm.
Yeah, I mean, it's a huge part of my life personally and of what we do at Storm. I think the way I look at entrepreneurialism is very much as a way of thinking and seeing the world. So for me, entrepreneurs have got a very unique ability to, for example, identify an opportunity where others may only see problems and challenges. They're often not afraid to take risks. They're happy to make mistakes, learn from their failures. And you'll often find they're quite skilled at either bringing people along for the journey, persuading them, creating a culture around them. And often that is a culture of either innovation, as Ellie's just been talking about the importance there, but equally a culture of creativity, or a culture of hard work, or very hard work if you're Mr. Musk. But for me, it's that way of the other thing I think about entrepreneurialism is that it's often an inability to see it outside of those parameters. So they find it very hard not to see the opportunity and get excited by it. It's not something they have to try for. It's the kind of thing you might be walking down the street and you just spot something and that's it. The brain's gone, you're there. So we get the pleasure of working with entrepreneurs at Storm every day, and it's much like Ellie's already pointed out, it's a very invigorating thing to get to spend time around those people.
Yeah, it is invigorating. It's catalytic, essentially, being around entrepreneurs. Tell us in a sort of nutshell what perhaps you first stayed with Storm, and then Ellie for NatWest. What will you actually be doing at EntreConf?
Well, attending personally, obviously. Storm, we're going to be hosting a panel on the topic of collaboration, and specifically the part that plays in the success of business.
Cool. Ellie?
Yeah, so at NatWest, we do a lot of work in terms of diversity and entrepreneurship. So likewise, we'll be hosting a panel all about how we can create an inclusive culture, and that is inclusive to everyone. And so it's taking those people who are a successful entrepreneur already and perhaps have years of experience in what actually looked like a very different environment a decade or two ago, and making sure that those people have understanding, awareness to invigorate the community to make it diverse.
Great. I mean, you both touched on this, but as one last point, perhaps, from your company's point of view, your organisation's point of view, what are you seeking to get out of EntreConf?
I mean, there are so many things that we kind of take for granted in our organisation, and I'd love to think that through the event that we're running, we're going to be able to give back and do a little bit of inspiring ourselves. And that in turn is just really lovely for the team to be able to go and do. But at the same time, meeting entrepreneurs is the lifeblood of what we do. And I haven't got any doubt that that's what we're going to end up doing throughout the EntreConf event, and indeed at the awards, which I'm very hoping will be similar.
Well, well, thank you for that. We'll come on to that in a second. Ellie, from NatWest's point of view, what are you seeking to get from it?
I think it's being a small part in change making. If we can kind of raise awareness to lots of different people, a diverse range of entrepreneurs about diversity and entrepreneurship, and connect those people together and see the value of it, then actually we're creating a better society for future generations to be able to thrive in.
Well, there is, in one, there is the idealism which powers so many entrepreneurs, and it's lovely to hear. To Ellie for NatWest, and to Dave from Storm Consultancy, many thanks for supporting EntreConf and for joining us today. Thank you.
Thanks, Greg.
Cheers, Greg.
Cheers.
So EntreConf Conference is running on June the 22nd at Watershed from 11 AM. There'll be powerful, memorable keynotes, and more on those in a sec. Actionable, practical insight sessions from advisors, from inception to exit, sustainability, and much more. Great panels on the power of collaboration, creativity, diversity, financial planning, and then what? What happens after you sell? And running through the day are multiple entrepreneurs' tales, their stories, values, offers, and destinies. EntreConfidentials, yes, opportunities for more intimate discussions, and there will be quite a bit of walking about at Watershed. There's many opportunities for those prompted, magical happenstances, conversations, kinetic meetings.
Yeah, kinetic meetings sounds a bit highfalutin, but it's true. We know that if you put good people together, great things will happen, and that's the theory. And we're providing a lot of time that people can spend together at EntreConf on June 22nd. On to our keynotes. We're delighted to reveal 2 of our keynotes for this year, and we'll be very proud to announce that we'll be joined live at EntreConf by Zilla Bing-Thorne, who has utterly transformed Future through bold entrepreneurial action from a market cap of the mid-20 millions to 1.5 billion in a matter of years. Just how? Which entrepreneurial approaches worked? What's it like to recalibrate? Join us to discover more about this how this stunning change has been achieved, and to hear from Zilla, one of the most successful media company leaders in Europe, it said, and actually we caught up with her earlier. So have a look at this. We're delighted to be joined by Zilla Bing-Thorne, one of our keynotes at EntreConf this time around. Zilla, welcome.
Hi.
Hi. And tell us a little bit about what you might be talking about at EntreConf.
I'm absolutely delighted to be attending the conference, and I think one of the things that I'm really excited to do is talk about the experience I had at Future and how we transformed that business. And while I didn't start it from scratch, it felt very much like a startup, and we scaled that all the way through to north of £2 billion market cap. So it's been an amazing journey, and I'm looking forward to sharing some of the lessons I've learned.
Yeah, it is an amazing journey, an extraordinary odyssey, and it's a brilliant example of entrepreneurial transformation of as you say, what was a reasonable sized business and now is an extraordinary business. And what might also you look forward to at EntreConf, your fellow keynote perhaps, or?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the diverse amount of people who are attending this. I think it's really great to get people who are pre-startup stage, just thinking about the very beginnings of their venture, all the way through to more seasoned entrepreneurs who can share their lessons learned. And I always think that we can all learn from each other, and everyone has a different perspective. And so I think it's nice when you get into that sort of group to get the mix.
Yeah, I think that phrase, we can all learn from each other, it is exactly one of our founding principles with EntreConf, and it's why we're absolutely delighted you'll be joining us. So Zilla, thank you very much, and we'll see you on June 22nd at the Watershed. Thank you.
Pleasure, look forward to it.
Very good, thanks. Very good indeed, and that as a standout keynote, there'll be so much to learn. And what we also talk with Zilla about is about how her learnings may apply to multiple other businesses, and there's some great insights going to come on that session. But there's also one of the region's rising stars and most successful startups ever in recent years. Delighted to say our other keynote is from GraphCore. It's from Nigel Toon, GraphCore's founder. He'll be speaking at EntreConf, and as not just one of this region's biggest ever successes, also one of the UK's rising stars since launch in 2012, 2013, not that long ago. $2 billion plus valued GraphCore creates computer processors used in AI. Nigel will be talking about GraphCore's growth, AI, prospects, and much more. So topical, and such success from this region on a world scale. What might we all learn from that? How might we be inspired? You will find out on June 22nd. Just imagine creating and running that business will be unmissable, frankly. We're delighted that having set our sights high, we've managed to bring in both those two remarkable keynotes. So can't wait.
Yeah, it's great content and also great support from our commercial partners. We work closely with our partners to create valuable content, actionable insights for entrepreneurs, and superb showcases for partners' expertise. We welcome partners who are active, who think entrepreneurially, what can be new, different, and better. We love the nexus between theory and practice and the trifecta value that can be created between entrepreneurs, advisors, and EntreConf as the catalyst. So thank you to all of our partners.
Yeah, sincere thanks. And there are different levels of engagement and value that companies and organizations can engage with. There's a few examples here. Entrepreneurs benefit from professional advisors, for example. So that might be legal in terms of structuring companies, memonarts, contracts, IP, M&A, investment rounds, exit planning, EOTs, much more. Could be financial advisors in terms of budgeting, funding sources, structures, taxation, funding rounds, of course, and exit planning. Wealth management, we heard from Casanova a little bit earlier about advice and timescales, investments, sustainability, from the offering of the business itself to company philosophy, the ESG approach, B Corp, etc. Premises, commercial partners, of course, with those with either co-working hubs through to new commercial premises. Scale-ups need flexibility, need opportunity to growth to house their great successes. Then differently, management and teams require recruitment and training and mentoring and development. All of this and much, much more. Please do talk to our team about how you might connect with the gold dust that is entrepreneurs who need your advice. Well, we've had, and you can see it's a couple of examples of different levels. We've had a couple of questions, hence being a bit distracted, on the EntreConf Awards. Funnily enough, we're going to come on to that in just a sec. One says, how do I nominate for the EntreConf Awards? Is it similar to the Bristol Life Awards? Well, it's similar, but it's actually very different. And I'll come on to some of the points of differences there. It's quite intriguing how shaping something that works from an entrepreneur's point of view, as well as from an advisor's point of view, is an interesting process in its own right. Can you tell us about the categories available? Yep, we will in a moment. Where my business may fit in. I run a small tech firm in Bristol and currently seeking funding for investment. Those are both anonymous attendees, and I obviously don't know who they are, but the idea of a company seeking funding as they're scaling their business, in part, that is exactly what we're seeking to achieve with EntreConf, to bring advisors, funders, and brilliant entrepreneurs together, but also to reflect in the awards, which we'll come on to. Have a look at this.
So the awards are an unrivaled celebration of entrepreneurialism through the region. We cover a wide range of business sectors, also business stages and individual recognition, as well as companies. And to note, all of our finalists will go free to the EntreConf Conference. We hope that that's good for them, and it will also be good for all attending to be around some of the region's leading entrepreneurs. Let's come on to the categories, judging criteria, and some tips on the awards.
Yeah, you'll see from these, we cover multiple areas. Also, as Claudia says, categories for individuals. So, for example, for female entrepreneurs, you can see here, who we particularly want to highlight, as we did at our quite remarkable female entrepreneurs dinner with Coots and Burgess Salmon in the autumn. And female entrepreneurs are, of course, eligible to enter the entrepreneur category additionally. Next up, you can see everything from FinTech, such a strength of this region, to scale up, so it's different sectors, but different stages of businesses. And please also note the awards for advisors. There's legal here and also previously financial. And finally, by different types of business in terms of size, smaller size entrepreneurial businesses, fewer than 10 people will be in the small business entrepreneur, maybe young entrepreneurs, those who are under 30 on September 1st this year. All those details are on the EntreConf site. And of course, any company or organization could enter, 1, 2, 3, whichever applies. Several categories are available for partnership and some are already under offer. So that if there's something here that if you directly wish to be associated with, for example, young entrepreneurs, the next generation, or it might be technology, a deliberately sort of broad-based category, which obviously will appeal across the piece. Please just talk to our team. It's a straightforward partnership approach, which we give through our awards. And remember, it says at the top there, remember, nominations are now open.
This is what the judges are looking for, and you'll see the weighting. So explain how your business is entrepreneurial, your success, usually good to talk about, your prospects, vision, value, and distinctiveness. And you can enter more than one category. So best female entrepreneur might also be a contender in science. The leading entrepreneurial e-commerce business might also be a scale-up.
Yeah, and a few tips. We found that the nominating process and the form is designed in this way can actually be a useful means of self-diagnosis. It's worth spending a time thinking. What have you achieved? Always give specifics. What do you want to tell the judges about or be famous for? Why is your future so strong? Remember, the different people who'll be reading this as our panel of independent judges. That alone, of course, is interesting. But also explain what's distinctive about your approach, your offer, your culture, your structure. You as an entrepreneur get to create your own world. Well, tell us about it. What's different? What's new? What's distinctive?
We're focused on delivering the EntreConf Awards to create value for all. All of us can do with new business, of associating with success, of building profile and relationships. So how might your business gain value via the EntreConf Awards? There are various ways to engage. So we've got headline partnership, which has gone to Casanova Partners. Categories, so as a professional service or advisory business, which category best suits your positioning? Which areas are you most wishing to be associated with? And how do you stand out from your peers? And note, category sponsors have the option to provide a consultation to their categories finalists as well. We also have feature sponsorship, so how can you highlight your company on the night of the EntreConf Awards and benefit from months of marketing before? Tickets to the EntreConf Awards will be a more intimate, select affair. We want to encourage connections, deep relationships. So tickets will primarily be limited to entrepreneurs. But if you're an advisor who wishes to attend, please talk to the team. Or of course, please consider sponsoring.
We're on the last lap. Let's come on to key dates. You can see them here. Here we go. Nominations close in a few weeks, 4 weeks or so. The future's unwritten, and have to say, so currently is your nomination. That's a terrible line, didn't say it, honest. But we'll contact each who make the shortlist individually and invite you to attend EntreConf as our guest on June 22nd at Watershed. At the conference, we'll then unveil all the winners collectively, and then the awards are in September at Bristol Museum on the 28th of September, with the winners chosen by an august panel of independent experts and covered throughout on the EntreConf site, on our social channels, and in our magazines, of course.
So there we have it. EntreConf first time is a live event at Watershed on June the 22nd, and tickets are available now via the website. And the first ever EntreConf Awards at the Bristol Museum, and nominations are open now. And sponsorships are of course available for both.
So business starts with a conversation. Please do talk with us about EntreConf. You'll see some contacts coming up in a sec. There we go. We're really, really proud of how far EntreConf has developed from half an idea during lockdown, and that's probably being generous, quarter of an idea during lockdown, to its current position. We've had such great support along the way. We're really proud of the relationships brokered, the value generated, of ideas sparked, of interest piqued, of business picked up. The support you've given us, basically. Thank you very much indeed. And thank you to the contributors today, Rob Nye of Cazenove Capital, Zilla Bing-Thorne, formerly of Future, an amazing entrepreneur in multiple ways, Ellie Rowley of NatWest, Dave Kelly of Storm Consultancy. The future is unwritten. This has been a Media Clash production, and these have been the launch of EntreConf and the EntreConf Awards. Thank you very much, and we'll see you on June 22nd. Thanks.